and it's called Escaping the Atmosphere Activated Camera. After jumping out of an airplane and watching the Tetons from above, I wanted John, the man I love, who was born on March 23rd, to feel this feeling like you're fighting the atmosphere in free fall. It's like no other feeling in the world. Then I thought of another man, also born on March 23rd, who had dreams of breaking past the atmosphere altogether. And in his time, the only way he could do that was to build rockets for the SS and dream of the moon. It's strange to believe that Wernher von Braun was a rocket engineer in Berlin during the turbulent 30s and 40s, so he became a part of the SS and was ahead of Hitler's dream plan to build the perfect vengeance rocket. And from what I hear, von Braun did that work for Nazi Germany, but he also loftily talked about sending rockets to the moon. Don't go around talking like that, I'm sure they'd say to him, so he dreamed until the Nazi collapse. So the states swooped him up in the budding Cold War, and von Braun even met with President Kennedy to cement their dreams, and then worked on the Saturn V rocket and Apollo man missions to the moon. And, okay, maybe I only jumped from an airplane. Maybe John is fighting gravity in a wind tunnel, but that's no landing on the moon. But cut us some slack. Wernher von Braun didn't go to the moon. But with this one man, born on March 23rd, he helped us get to where we are today. On my webpage for it, there are photos of him with President Kennedy. There's a bunch of them, but I'm like, here's a good shot with the army plane behind them. So I had to do it for him, and because it was Hitler's birthday, I found two other ones that relate to Hitler stuff. So sorry, you're getting the Hitler stuff on this one. You're getting the Hitler stuff on this one. And then I'm done. This first one is called Zeal was Unbridled, and it was written on the calendar day Adolf Hitler signed the Nero Decree. Slaving, I risked my life. And in these struggles, I had a vision the entire fatherland would ultimately embrace. This is your salvation. You begged for it. Your zeal was unbridled. Hang on, I lost my page. Your zeal was unbridled. Yet as time wore on, you and the masses were too blind to truly fulfill your destiny. You don't understand. I earned the Iron Cross for my unbridled heroism. I fought in the streets for the right kind of government for my people. And I changed my life so I could be your servant. And now you all betray me so. I have always fought, and that has been my decree since the beginning, to never surrender. And as I continue to fight, all I see around me are cowards. You should want to die instead of turning your tail to run. Deserter. You deserted your destiny, not me. This is only proof to me that it was never your destiny after all. And each one of you should perish. And if enemies come in to take over my land, we should leave them nothing, only a scorched earth. And since my people stopped fighting, let them die too. I want to make this clear. It was not my vision that was faulty. It was your inability to fulfill your goals and ultimately make this empire reign 1,000 years. Your unbridled love for these ideals should have sustained you. So, you have no one to blame but yourself. We're doing that. I wrote a poem from the perspective of Hitler. What? This other one is called We Didn't Start the Fire, and it was written on the anniversary of the Reichstag fire, which was February 27th of 33. Precisely 4 weeks after Adolf Hitler was sworn in as Chancellor of Germany, Germany's parliament building, the Reichstag, was set on fire. And to Adolf Hitler, what a fortunate happenstance this was, where they could pass the Reichstag fire decree to state that all communists, since one started that fire, all communists were against Germany, which cemented Nazi Germany and him becoming the Fuhrer. Fortunate happenstance for Adolf Hitler indeed. Or was it a well-orchestrated plot by the German government, making the Reichstag fire synonymous with the red flag, a ruse to fool the country to condemn a false enemy so they end up supporting their true enemy instead? This is how master of deceit Hitler orchestrated his way to power. Documents uncovered after the end of World War II, plus information revealed during the Nuremberg trials, shows Hermann Goering may have started the Reichstag fire. Dating a patsy was easy when they found the unstable Dutch communist Ernest van der Lubbe, and man, did Hitler hate those communists. The story is writing itself. You're probably now expecting a tirade on concentration camps, or the twisted experiments of Dr. Mengele, or the twisted sadistic acts of a chicken farmer who was too weak to even be admitted into an army. But sorry, reader, Himmler and the SS weren't even around in '33 when the Reichstag burned to the ground. This was when just the seeds were planted in the German government, the seeds no one wanted after a defeat in World War I. However, these were the seeds planted and growing deep within the mind of Hitler. Seeds no one fully understood, and even when he wrote his rambling diatribes in Mein Kampf, plus while serving prison time for ducking and covering instead of heroically fighting after the Beer-Hall-Putsch. But don't think they didn't aggrandize these failed battles to appease the megalomaniacal savior that the women all flocked to adore, which is why the leader could never marry a woman. He could only be married to the fatherland. Maybe that might explain his love affair with his niece. But after she killed herself 2 years before the Reichstag fire, Hitler only settled for meek women, well hidden. On the surface, the rise of Nazi Germany only existed because of a series of its curious and fortunate happenstances. But look deep into each of these inexplicable events, and a different story will unfold altogether, of careful planning and careful propaganda. Because even Joseph Goebbels, the propaganda minister, said that his best propaganda was Adolf Hitler himself, and creating that short-term myth. Thank you. No more